So this is a brief demo and explanation of a product I'm building, which is tentatively titled More Like This. This is a system for generating book recommendations. The core concept is simple. A user will enter several books, and the system will return a list of books that it thinks you might like. So for example, let's enter something like the Hunger Games book, and we can enter more than one book. So we can enter several of the Hunger Games books. Once we ask the system to find more like this, it will return to us a list of books that I want to be instantly recognizable to the user as something related, fun, and that they would enjoy reading. And if you kind of scroll down and you look at what is returned from this query, you see that this is a list of books focusing on young adult dystopian fiction with female protagonists who are overcoming obstacles, which is indeed, if you've seen the Hunger Games books or movies, what they are essentially about. There are other sources to get book recommendations, but I would like to build one that overcomes a lot of the shortcomings that others have. So for example, one place to get book recommendations right now is Goodreads. You could scroll to Goodreads and enter something like Harry Potter's and the Sorcerer's Stone. And if you scroll down, what you will see is a list of books that it is recommending to you under Readers Also Enjoyed. And while some of these books make perfect sense, like for example, other Harry Potter books, some of the book recommendations given either by Goodreads or Amazon or Apple Books tend to be very strange. Like for example, 1984 for Harry Potter, The Diary of Anne Frank, again for Harry Potter, or Pride and Prejudice. What this is picking up on is that people who are reading and enjoying Harry Potter tend to be in school. And so they tend to like other books that are also assigned as school readings. This is the central challenge of building a book recommendation system, because a lot of relationships between people who like one book also like another books are not genuine relationships. I would say they're merely correlative. And teasing out the genuine versus the fake relationships is the kind of major difficulty that one faces. So for example, when you enter Harry Potter into the system that I'm currently building, what you do see is a whole bunch of fantasy books featuring young protagonists, featuring transportations into different worlds, featuring other Harry Potter stuff like Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, and so on. Another example of the same thing might be Macbeth. So if you go to Goodreads and you enter Macbeth, you can scroll down and see what it will recommend. And you will see immediately on the first page of something like A Christmas Carol, which if you've read these two books, you know they're very, very different in terms of how they read. The difficulty, again, is figuring out which relationships in terms of people who like Macbeth and people who don't like it are genuine. So if you enter Macbeth into my system, what should come out are things that are clearly connected to it, like other books by Shakespeare, like other literature written at the same time, like other major works of world drama, like Sophocles and Ibsen and so forth. And of course, you could refine it. For example, if you enter more than one book, if you enter Macbeth and Chaucer, what you're telling the system is you're not interested in works of world drama. What you are interested in is classic English language stuff written around the Renaissance. And indeed, that is exactly what the top pages return. So my goal here is to make this a fun, enjoyable experience, which will become a social network where users can share book recommendations, where they can comment on each other's book recommendations, and where they generally can discuss absolutely anything book related, and a social network which will very aggressively push other users' content into your feed if it thinks that it relates to books that you actually enjoy. Right now, I'm trying to build this on Azure, and my main goal is to try to understand how much it would cost to scale up the minimum viable product, which you're seeing here, to a system with many different users who are using all of this simultaneously.